Hey everyone watching, the story I'm bringing you today will definitely send chills down your spine. I was about 28 back then, just a regular office worker. Originally, my close friend Tortil and I had planned a ski trip to Pennsylvania. Sounds exciting, right? But right before we were supposed to leave, I glanced at the weather forecast, and man, Pennsylvania was under a blizzard warning. The whole state was practically buried in snow. I quickly called Tortil.
Bro, change of plans. Pennsylvania is a no-go. The snow is insane, like a disaster movie scene.
He was silent for a moment, probably didn't expect it either. Then, he suddenly blurted out,
Well, what if we change routes and go to Detroit instead?
My heart sank a bit at that. Detroit, you know, is infamous for its home invasions. But, well, sometimes I just can't bring myself to say no, especially not wanting to disappoint my buddy. I thought, maybe we'd get lucky. Looking back now, that decision has haunted me for a long time. We quickly booked an Airbnb in Detroit. The host was super friendly when we chatted online, said he'd reserved the room for us and even prepared some food. At the time, I thought, hey, lucky us, met a good person. The next day, we set off in Tortil's black SUV. After about 7 hours of driving, it was almost dark when we were cruising down the highway. We grabbed a quick bite at a fast food joint and hit the road again. Finally, after a grueling 14 hours, we arrived in Detroit. We found the Airbnb according to the address, and the homeowner who greeted us was indeed very enthusiastic and had actually prepared food for us. We were so exhausted at the time, we didn't think much of it. We dropped our luggage and just collapsed on the sofa, scrolling through funny videos. After a while, we got bored, and I suggested,
Hey, how about a game of Jenga?
A few minutes later, I won. Just then, Tortil suddenly announced he had to go pick up a friend who was supposed to be in Pennsylvania but got stuck because of the blizzard. I said,
Well, I'll go with you then.
But he replied,
Then who's going to watch the house?
And just like that, he rushed to his car and drove off, leaving me alone in that strange house. I didn't think too much of it at the time. After all, I was incredibly tired from the day's activities, so I just went to my room and fell asleep. I don't know how long I slept, but I was jolted awake from a daze by a series of urgent knocks on the door. I groggily dragged myself to the door and peeked through the peephole. Outside stood a man dressed entirely in black, his face obscured by shadows, making it hard to see clearly. He seemed to notice me too. I flinched in fright and instinctively ran towards the
Homeowners!
room, thinking I'd be safer if the host was there. But bizarrely, the host wasn't in his room at all. Just as I was panicking, the man in black slowly walked away. Before I could even breathe a sigh of relief, the so-called
Homeowner!
suddenly appeared, holding a hammer, and asked with a strange expression.
What's happening?
I pointed towards the door, my voice trembling.
Outside! There was a man in black outside!
He casually replied.
Oh, that guy in black? It's okay. He's my buddy from high school. Just came over to hang out.
My mind buzzed instantly. What on earth? Who has a high school friend like that, showing up in the middle of the night? The homeowner then asked.
Where's your friend?
Right at that moment, my phone vibrated. It was a text message from an unknown number, but the contact name was saved as
Real Airbnb host.
The content of the message made my scalp tingle. Is everything okay? In that instant, everything became clear. This so-called homeowner was an imposter. Seeing the look on my face, his expression immediately turned vicious. Without a word, he raised the hammer and smashed it violently onto the doorknob, completely breaking the lock, clearly intending to cut off my escape route. My adrenaline surged, and only one thought filled my mind: fight back. He charged at me with the hammer. I couldn't care about anything else at that point. I relied on instinct, dodging left and right, narrowly avoiding several attacks. In the chaos, I saw an opening and, with all my strength, landed a solid punch to his chest. He grunted in pain, and his assault slowed for a moment. My mind was a blank slate, filled only with primal violence and the will to survive. Before he could react, I delivered an uppercut that knocked him unconscious. For my own safety, I completely kicked down the door he had damaged and then hid in a corner, anxiously waiting for Tortle to return. Every minute, every second felt like an eternity. Finally, I don't know how much time passed, maybe 24 hours later, Tortle returned with the girl. Seeing them, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. The real homeowner had also received my message and called the police, who arrived quickly. Looking back now, that was truly the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced, bar none. Have any of you encountered similar scary experiences? Let me know in the comments below.